Now, my friends, I'm going to need you all to count down with me. Are you ready, my friends?
Yes!
99, 98.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I think that's a little too long.
That will take a while.
Yeah, I think we should just three. Let's do
Three,
yes,
three, patrons now. Three,
3,
2, 1.
go!
Who tied ropes to them?
Oh,
Is that you?
planning.
My friends, our patron right here decided to tie ropes to these things. So, we've actually got some good news at hand. You can actually pull this team right back up and jump it over again. My friends, I heard a rumor from King George that King George hates nothing more than when you pull these teachers right back up, you take an instant portrait with it, and then throw it overboard. Huzzah! Now, my friends, that is the good news. We've destroyed 4 chests of tea. The bad news is we have about 108 to go.
Oh dear.
I hope none of you made any dinner plans. So
You
we're
all
actually
have to
going to go
find
down
print
below decks
for
and
3
destroy
hours.
the rest of the tea. But, my friends, the crew still happen to be on board. So I'm going to offer them a fair warning before going down below decks. You down there, down to the hold. We have... How many? 1,000?
1,000, give or take.
1,000. Okay. 1,000 angry patriots here. Listen to how angry they are. They're mightily peeved.
Yes.
My friends, if you stay out of our way, we promise we will not hurt you.
Melih git sen de kontrol et.
I'm too important to die. I'm sorry. Right down that line. Tell us if the coast is clear. It's illusional. It's clear. Oh, bitch, it's right down this way like a rabid angry mob.
Wonderful.
When we say rabid angry mob, we mean single file line. Hold on to the handrails.
Yes.
Right down this
I'll stay above decks. Watch out for any of those regular soldiers.
Ne?
Şey Melih'e söylüyor.
İnin inin.
Do not be afraid. I don't believe any harm will come to you. I'll just stay with the rest.
Very good point. And it's historically accurate to be auctioned off by your mother. That would make sense.
Wait, you said you needed a child. I provided.
Adamlar iyi yatıyor.
Sen mi?
Orada yatan birisi var.
Without you, history would have been stopped. Think about that.
Çok korkunç bir şey adam.
Patrons, right down this way. Take a nice good look over there and then gather right over here.
Somebody.
Çok korkunç
Of course,
bir adam var.
we actually strongly recommend it. If you do not take pictures, we might punish you. I don't know why I said that. Patrons, right down this way. Try to get a little closer in. Now, what you see right in front of you, right over there, that is the forecastle, otherwise known as the forecastle. That is where the sailors would sleep. Now, you all look like smart individuals. Someone give me a head count. How many bunks do you see right there?
4, 6, 8.
8, exactly. 8 bunks. Now, with 8 bunks, that means they had a crew of 24, exactly. Now, 24 patrons. Now, the reason there were so many of them is because this ship was doubled over as a whaler. It was used on whaling expeditions. Now, I don't know how much you know about whaling expeditions. There's 3 ways to take down a whale. Now, there's actually only one way, but there are 3 outcomes that could potentially come. Now, what you do is you get on this little boat and you sail out to the whale, and then you'd harpoon the whale. Now, the whale at that point would wake up and realize that something bad was happening to it. So it could do one of 3 things. 1, it could go straight down to the bottom of the ocean, thus killing you. Or 2, it could hit the side of your boat and throw the boat over, thus killing you. And the third option is it heads off on a Nantucket sleigh ride that's so long and goes on until the whale tires, which is long enough to thus kill you, or the whale tires out and you can go up right next to it and take advantage of the fact that it's completely pooped. That's the only way to kill a whale. So the fact is that you actually lose a lot of seamen out at sea. So the reason for that, they had about 24 to maybe 30 crew members on board at once. Right? The mortality rate was around 40%, but you were paid extremely well. Now, my friends, there happen to be a couple historical inaccuracies about the ship. It's actually completely historically accurate almost. It's down to size, shape, everything. Make. But the ceiling would actually be about 2 feet lower. We made it 2 feet higher for our taller patriots. You're welcome. These stairs would not actually exist. It would be a steady drop. And what you see right in front of you, those 3 pillars over there, it would actually be a solid wall. So the only way to actually get down to the forecastle would be through that ladder you see right over there. And what you're standing on, this would actually lead straight down to the hull. So it would actually make wave. So we can have more actual goods on board. Now, some other inaccuracies, the smell. This wouldn't smell this good. You see, Boston was divided into two classes at the time. The great unwashed and those who bathed. And those who bathed about twice a year. Because we're under the impression we had all these essential oils in our skin, so having a bath would actually strip ourselves of those oils. So having a bath was actually bad for you. So, now, my friends, I imagine you all saw the tea chest, am I right? Now, did you see the logo on the side of the tea chest? I'm going to start right on top. It looks like V, it's actually a U. It stands for the United East India Company logo. This was the first ever logo that was ever created. Now, this represents the hull of the ship as it's coming towards you. And this divides the ship into the 4 quadrants. Like this is the deck. We know it's a deck because you see the 4 that's right on top. It's not a 4. Exactly. Exactly. It's a mast with a sail. Now, Paige, you're going to be walking right down this way. And on your way, I'm going to ask you to look to your right and left. You're going to see where the captain slept and the first mate slept. Now, that would also be a solid wall over there. And the captain and first mate's bunk only leaded to the captain's cabin. Now, there were certain requirements you had to meet if you were the first mate. The first requirement is you could not read. Second requirement is you could not write. The third requirement is you could not swim. I don't know if any of you meet those requirements. Do you? No, you can read. No, we need a first mate. My friends, the reason for that is the first. Do you see the captain's cabin right over there? The first mate was the only other person allowed inside the captain's cabin. So you can see Captain Hezekiah Coffins right there. He's writing away all his plans, all his ideas. 1 minute. What if the first mate was to see those? Be able to read it. Let other crew members know and take over the ship, spark mutiny. Mutiny was very common back then. Oh, don't worry. He has no idea what he's writing. He can't read. Second reason. Now, the captain's allowed to tell the first mate where they're heading because the first mate's allowed to steer the vessel. So, what if he was to let another ship know so they could intercept us and they'd spark mutiny that way? But don't worry. He can't write them a letter. He doesn't know how to write. And the third and most important requirement, the first mate was never ever allowed to abandon ship. Hence requirement number 3. Huzzah. Now, that being said, sir, how old are you? 8 years old? Huzzah. Patriots, we are looking at the perfect age for a sailor. It's around 8 to 11 years old, maybe 12, give or take. The reason is you have these fantastic little fingers, so you can tie very complicated knots. Honestly, you don't eat very much, and you take very little room on the bunk. Now, what would actually happen is, growing up, I'm going to ask both of you, how often have your parents told you to keep your elbows off the table? Not really? No? Normally. Oh, normally. That makes more sense. Now, see, the reason is, every time you come on these ships right over here, what would happen is, they'd give you a plank of wood. Now, this is what you eat off of. What you do is you place it right here on your knees, you put the food in the middle, and you eat away. But the problem is the ship is being moved from side to side, so the food would usually go flying all over the place. So to make sure that didn't happen, you put your elbows on either side, and you ate like this. Now, the issue is this became a habit because you were out to sea for about 6, maybe 7 months at a time. So you get back to port, you land in a port like Boston, for example. You get off the ship, you go into a canteen to eat, you sit down at a table. What's the first thing you do? Now, captains and first mates were always looking for fresh new sailors. So if they saw a sturdy young lad like this with his elbows on the table, they knew he was a sailor. He had sailing experience. So they'd give him after alcohol as he could. Next time he wakes up, he's already out at sea, it's too late. That's how they got brand new sailors. So mothers hated this upbringing for their children. So they always told them, hey, make sure the captain and first mate don't see you. Just keep your elbows off the table. We're going to head right down this way, patrons. Oh, by